even if the stock market took a hit similar to how it took a hit in March. Something tells me silver and gold, if they take a hit, it's not going to be that much of a ding. I'm stockpiling the silver and the gold because I consider it to be a way of combating financial hardships, combating economic uncertainty, combating inflation. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Happy Halloween to you, your friends, your family. Hope everybody is doing fantastic and having an excellent day and staying safe. Today I wanted to talk about silver and also gold, also the general state of the economy, and also a little bit of world news because many are insinuating that a storm is coming. But really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos. Also subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. And if you want to get some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel, I'd really appreciate that. Tons of products that are raising funds and awareness for different charity organizations. Other products that are just simply precious metal themed, such as the recently released Kraken Stack and t-shirt, hoodie, sticker, and coffee mug, and the DYDSS Halloween tee, available in 3 different colors, and it's the last day to get one. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance. It's more than appreciated. But today I wanted to talk about the precious metals and how many are suggesting that a storm is coming, and it's from a lot of different reasons. Before I can even get into the silver and the gold, I have to talk about why I'm talking about this today, and that's because the news that just came out, Boris Johnson of the UK announced a lockdown starting November 5th until the beginning of December, and instructed that all citizens are to not leave their houses unless absolutely necessary. Essentially, everything and everyone is going to be put on a lockdown, with the exception of those who are deemed quote-unquote essential. This is the UK we're talking about here. And the UK is joining Belgium, Austria, Germany, and many others on this 1-month lockdown concept. And I know this is world news and not necessarily what's going on here in America. The reason I bring it up is because it could absolutely be the foreshadowing of what's to occur here in America next. For example, the governor of New Jersey recently stated that he hasn't even ruled out the possibility of a statewide lockdown. This is the first governor in America to talk about how we could see lockdowns here in the US again. And of course, if that were to occur, we could probably expect to see the stock market fall again. Maybe not to the severity that it did in March of 2020, but I've been talking about it the last couple of days. Anybody who's been watching my channel since Tuesday, you'll know that on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which was yesterday, I talked about how the stock market has been dropping lower and lower and lower. And if the stock market continues to drop lower or have a full-blown crash once again, it could create what's often referred to as a double-dip recession, which would almost certainly have an impact on silver and gold. And by the way, really quick, speaking of the precious metals, if anybody has not yet joined the Precious Metals VIP Club, today's the last day if you want to be involved in the November giveaway. I'm trying to do giveaways every single month, and all you have to do is simply be a VIP Club member, but it has to be the month before the giveaway, aka today's the last day to join. But it's not just giveaways, it's also personalized promo codes, shoutouts, discounts. You can watch all the YouTube videos commercial free. I'm doing privately held live streams, and I post deal alerts when silver and gold is on sale on a variety of different websites. So if you want to join, link will be in the description. Giveaway begins in just a couple of days. Now, back to the silver and the gold and how all of this economic uncertainty is playing a role in what the precious metals are doing. So we already saw just on Thursday, silver and gold both dropped. Not by a whole lot, but enough where it was definitely noticeable. It was definitely somewhat newsworthy. It was definitely something to talk about. I mean, if silver goes down 15 cents, no one really bats an eye. If gold drops $14, nobody really cares. But silver dropped a whole dollar. Gold dropped about $30, and this was Thursday. Then on Friday, not much changed. They both stayed lower. Here we are on Saturday, and we're going to essentially be left in the dark until Sunday evening or Monday morning. Now, come Monday morning, that will mark 1 day until Election Day. So I don't think many people are going to be focusing too heavily on the silver and the gold at that point. By the way, speaking of Election Day coming up, I've been talking about it. It's a week and a half away, it's a week away, it's 5 days away. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are 72 hours away from Election Day. Brace yourselves. The ride is probably going to get bumpy. Something tells me everything we went through these last 6 or 7 months was just the warm-up. But moving forward, I wanted to talk more about the silver and the gold today because with all of this economic uncertainty, oftentimes we see that silver and gold strengthen. When the dollar bill takes punishment, when fiat, when currency gets weaker, real true money oftentimes gets stronger. Except at the moment, it's not just simply inflation we're talking about. We're talking about potential lockdowns again. We're talking about potentially a new president. We're talking about potential stimulus updates. We're talking about potential vaccine updates. We're talking about a lot of different information. There's too much on the table to really sit down and decipher exactly what's going to happen, or I guess you can say what's more likely to happen. Oftentimes, historically speaking, we could say this is occurring, therefore that is probably what's going to happen next. Right now, it's not possible to do. It's too much. There's so much information in front of us and constantly being fed even more information. So, to me, in my opinion and from my perspective, it seems like a recipe to a massive storm. We could see even more financial hardship. We could see more economic uncertainty. Not to mention, it's not all about the money. We also have to talk about people's health and safety could potentially be at risk. There's a lot going on right now. And the point I'm trying to get across is there is no way in the world of deciphering exactly what's going to happen next. There is no way in the world to formulate or calculate exactly what's going to happen next. So I know there's a lot of people saying,
no, silver's going to be $10 higher in 10 days.
I know there's a lot of people saying a lot of weird things. A lot of people like to put random numbers, random prices with random dates with no supporting evidence to back their claim. A lot of people say these things. Please understand, they are not telling you. They're trying to tell themselves. They're not a psychic. They don't have a crystal ball. So try to stay objective, try to stay logical, try to stay rational, and obviously try to stay prepared. A lot of people, myself included, this entire month have had cash on standby. Number one, just in case. Number two, if I were to see silver and gold drop significantly, I'm talking about a couple dollars, maybe $2, $3, $4, $5, I would have had the cash that I normally would have been putting into the silver and the gold anyway. I kept it to myself. I don't believe in trying to time the market. I don't believe in sitting around telling myself,
I'm going to wait until silver hits a very specific price and then I'll jump in.
I don't believe in that. I don't wait for spot price to dip. I wait for my direct deposit to hit, to be quite honest. But this time around it was a little bit different because I've only been stacking for going on just about 3 years. In December it'll mark 3 years for me. So I have not stacked silver or gold during any presidential election before. And I know for a fact, historically speaking, 45 days before Election Day is when the markets begin seeing massive building uncertainty. And it builds and builds and builds. And 1 week before Election Day is when the peak of uncertainty is. That's when we see a lot of people sell off, people who are in the stock market, many people sell off, many people liquidate just to simply have the cash on hand, just because they have no idea what's going to happen in a week on Election Day. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are in that window of time. We are in that time frame right now. As I'm recording today's video, like I said, we're 72 hours away from Election Day. 3 days. This is the peak of uncertainty. Now, with everything else going on, it's just adding even more to the storm. Because it's not just simply an election that we're talking about. It's not just simply a presidency that we are worried about. It's the general state of the economy, and quite frankly, it's the entire planet. The whole planet's suffering right now. They've been this entire year being hit from all angles, and not just from a financial aspect. So the point I'm trying to get across is, with everything going on right now, I want to say that only time will tell, which usually indicates that we're going to have quite a bit of waiting to do, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Something tells me we're going to get some answers in the very near future. And I don't mean in the upcoming months, the upcoming weeks. It could be the upcoming days. We can get some critical information over the next few days. When it comes to lockdowns, who knows if that's going to occur here? If it were to occur here, I would not be surprised if it started with New Jersey. I mean, the governor of New Jersey is the first one to bring it up. So I wouldn't be surprised. And if that were to happen, then people are going to really start demanding a second stimulus. Because fact of the matter is, they've been talking about a second round of stimulus checks for what, 5-6 months now? We all got the first one in April, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but April, I believe. Now, as for a second stimulus, here's where it gets interesting. People have been needing a second stimulus all of these months. If we see shutdowns again, all of the people that took a financial hit this year, maybe they were finally able to go back to work. If they get sent back home, it's going to be disastrous. Keep in mind, the overwhelming majority of Americans do not even have $500 in savings. And if they did have more than $500 in savings, there's a strong possibility that this year required them to dip into it because they had to. They had no other choice. Those of you who are subscribed to my channel, those of you who have been subscribed to my channel a couple days, couple weeks, couple months, couple years, many of you do what I do. Many of you have somewhat of a physical savings account, the silver and the gold, coins, rounds, and bars. What's often referred to as an incredibly undervalued asset, more so specifically referring to the silver, and then as for the gold, what's often referred to as the ultimate form of wealth preservation. Both of the two act as a hedge against inflation. So people who have a similar mindset as I like to take their dollar bills, which, yes, of course, are very, very, very incredibly useful tools. They pay for everything we do. These dollar bills are how I eat and how I have a roof over my head. But unfortunately, they're only helpful in the short term. Long term, if I were to take this same $75 that I use in practically every video, look, they're almost falling apart. If I were to put these $75 under the mattress and went back for them, let's just say 15, 20 years down the road, do you really think that I'll be able to get or buy what $75 would be able to buy me today? If we fast forward 10, 15, 20 years in the future? Probably not. It depreciates in value. Not to sound like one of those end of the world type of people, but facts are facts. The dollar bill loses purchasing power. You can't argue that. I think it's important to have a little bit of currency, aka some dollar bills, on standby for quick, easy access in the event of a financial emergency. Absolutely. If you're not stacking a little bit of cash, I think that's a massive, massive, massive weakness if you're stacking. But for the most part, we're probably prioritizing silver and or gold over dollar bills. because many of us are long-term focused. Many of us prioritize our futures rather than the present. It's all about the long term. It's all about that long-term mentality. So what many of us do who are stacking the silver and the gold is convert our dollars into it as a hedge against inflation, wealth preservation. Yes, we all get that. But with the spot price right now, $23 an ounce silver, if we see another crash, probably not to the severity what we saw in March, although I could be wrong. By the way, friendly reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing on this channel is financial advice. Do your own research. This is for entertainment purposes only. I cannot predict the future. I have no idea. So with that being said, if we see another crash similar to what we saw in March, maybe and hopefully not to that severity, but if we see another crash and we see silver and gold both take a hit, similar to how they both took a hit in March, something tells me it wouldn't be nearly as drastic as it was back then for the silver and the gold, even if the stock market took a hit similar to how it took a hit in March. Something tells me silver and gold, if they take a hit, it's not going to be that much of a ding. I could be wrong, but if silver and gold drop, we probably see silver hit maybe close to $20, give or take, somewhere around there. Something tells me I don't think we're going to see silver get back into the teens. And then as for gold, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw a $50 to $100, maybe even $150 drop. But for the gold, I really couldn't see it dropping down to $1,500, $1,400, $1,300 again. I couldn't see it happening. I'd be happy to be proven wrong. Not that I want to manifest all these economic issues, but if silver and gold were to drop down quite a bit, if silver were to drop down a couple dollars, if gold were to drop down $100, $200, $300, I wouldn't be a bit upset, because that just means I'd be able to get even more. And I'm not just stockpiling the silver and the gold for no reason at all. I'm stockpiling the silver and the gold because I consider it to be a way of combating financial hardships, combating economic uncertainty, combating inflation, and preserving my wealth for the long term. Got a little bit sidetracked earlier in the video, but I had to talk a little bit about world news because that's what would build up to what we're talking about here later in the video. So if you guys don't want to hear any more world news, let me know. If you want to hear more, let me know. A lot of it ties in together. A lot of it is intertwined. Oftentimes the markets follow the same trends. One might just go before the other. But oftentimes, if one goes up, the other one goes up. If one goes down, the other one goes down. And that goes for all the markets, by the way. Not just the stock market, not just the precious metals. It goes for real estate. It goes for everything. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think that an economic storm is on the way? Is a storm coming, in your opinion? And are you going to try to combat the storm with the precious metals? And if anybody's interested in joining the Precious Metals VIP Club, it's where I can do things on my own terms, not on YouTube's terms, my terms. I'm hosting privately held live streams. They're smaller, easier to manage. I'm also doing giveaways, discounts, personalized promo codes, shout outs, deal alerts when silver and gold is on sale on a bunch of different websites. And of course, you can watch all of the YouTube videos commercial free. Come join the Precious Metals VIP Club. It'll be the first link in the description. You're invited. I'd be happy to have you. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button. If you guys like me, make sure to subscribe. New videos every single day, 365 days a year. Also subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Brand new video over there. Go check it out. The link will be in the description. Trying really hard to hit 2,000 subscribers. We just hit 1,500, and I appreciate that. And if you want to help support the channel in the biggest possible way, please consider getting yourself some DYDSS merchandise. Of course, we have some precious metal themed t-shirts and hoodies, which are up for grabs, along with a ton of other products, t-shirts, hoodies, even stickers, many of which are raising funds and awareness for different charity organizations, such as the recently released Kraken Stackin' t-shirt, hoodie, sticker, and coffee mug, which was inspired by the beautiful 2-ounce silver Kraken coin, which by the way is helping us raise a little bit of funds and awareness for ocean cleanup charity organizations at no additional cost to you. It comes out of my pocket, not yours. And of course, the limited edition DYDSS Halloween tee, available in orange, gray, and purple. Only available this month, which means today is the last day you will be able to get one. So get one while you can. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance. It's more than appreciated. And once again, I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know, what are your thoughts on everything going on in the world right now? I understand if you don't really want to get into it. It's unbelievably negative and nerve-wracking, so if you don't even want to focus on that, I don't blame you. But as for the silver and the gold, what do you think the spot price may or may not do over the next couple of days, next couple of weeks? I understand earlier in the video I said that I like to prioritize long-term thinking, long-term mentality. I have that long-term perspective, but it's incredibly interesting to see what goes on in the short term. Because what goes on in the short term could be somewhat of a red flag. It could be an eye-opener as to what's going to be going on in the long term for this market or that market over there. We got to pay attention to the short term. Just because we prioritize financially preparing ourselves for decades in the future doesn't mean that we shouldn't be paying attention to what's going on today, tomorrow, yesterday, next week, last week. Let me know in the comments section down below anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.